gold sequin gown with the sagging lining. How bad is it? Is it bad? Would you guys have known it before we talked about it? You knew? Really? Where's it? Don't look, hold the camera higher. Where does it sag at?
It's worse side.
What?
It's on that side.
Is it?
Yeah, that's why we can't see it as much over here.
Oh. We digress.
We all start sagging as we get older.
Yeah, we all start sagging as we get older. Okay. That having been said, I showed her a shadow rabbit with one ear. So anyways, we have to evaluate where the conflict in our life comes from and what purpose it serves. But as I was staring at my gold sequin gown with the sagging lining, I looked at it and I went, well, here's where you're at, Paisley. This is where you've arrived. And what do you think? And what I think is that I have to live with my choices. I have to live with the consequences of my choices. But I also get to inherit the blessings of my choices. And I have to be able to look back at my life and say, this is what good came out of what I chose to do. This is what good came out of it. That is why tonight is my last performance. Okay, I'm kidding. I've always wanted to do that, though. I've always wanted to, like, Ziggy Stardust and just quit in front of everyone and then, like, next year do a tour and then make buku bucks and then really retire. All right. No, I looked at it and I went, what if it came down to the fact that I lost, you know, an entire circle of friends because I put on a dress? What if it came down to that? Seriously. What if it came down to that? Well, let's just flip it. If one of you wanted to wear pants, no. No, but I'm just saying, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Let's just have some fun. What if one of my best friends wanted to get a tattoo of 666 on their forehead? Or a swastika? You know what I'm saying? What would happen? Well, now we're comparing a dress to the sign of Satan and the sign of Hitler. Okay, we're really stretching here. So let's just say, what if one of my friends wanted to make a really obnoxious, embarrassing, offensive fashion statement? What would I do? Can I be really honest? I could care less. I honestly could care less what one of my friends did. My gosh, I've survived what my children wear. What's that store called at the mall that they... Hollister?
Hollister.
What is it?
Hollister.
Say it really loud.
Hollister.
That one. Hollister. If I could forgive them wearing Hollister clothes, I could forgive anybody anything. My kids turned out so normal. How dare they? But you know what I'm saying? We have children, and they're going to go through phases, and we're going to be like, wow, ugh. But who cares what we think? They have to explore their identity, and they're going to become who they become. You know, and what if they become something we wouldn't be caught dead being? We're going to love them. But we're going to extend that to our friends. We extend it to our family. We may not extend it to our spouses. Let's be fair. If you're wearing my ring, I get to dress you. But, you know, everybody else, we should be leaving alone. So if we really narrow it down that, you know, I might have lost some friends along the way because of my fashion sense, that's really radical. And what would you do if you would sit there and you go, God, I think maybe I don't need friends like that. I don't really need people like that. I really don't, because, well, that's not very nice. And by the way, did you see what they were wearing? Yeah. Did you see what they were wearing that I never commented on? You'll never catch me with ear hair. You know what I'm saying? But can you imagine if I walked up to someone and said, you know, you have ear hair, and well, you can't be my friend. Well, I'm in the wrong state if I want to start rejecting women because they're hairy. So, and then I found a dead cat hanging on my doorway. So, I live at 5128 West Cortez Street, Glendale, Arizona, 85304. That's where you bring the cats. Okay. Oh my gosh. We have to look at our lives and evaluate where our love comes from, where our respect comes from, and where our conflicts and hate and problems come from, and where our esteem comes from. If you sat me down and tickled me for an hour until I had no defense left, and asked me where my self-esteem comes from, I would say, well, since you called it that, I'd say it comes from myself. That my self-esteem comes from myself. And if I had a gun to my head and I had to tell the truth, I would say, I actually like me. I really do. I spend time with me. I think I'm pretty funny. And sometimes I'm even clever, and sometimes I'm creative, and sometimes I'm really proud of what I do. But if you ask me where my sense of approval comes from, my sense of approval, absolutely, hands down, no questions asked, I'd say God. And if you ask me, what do you really think God thinks about you, Paisley? I'd say, I think God really likes to spend time with me. I really do. I have walked with God for 27 years, which is really hard when you just turned 21, by the way, but I started early. And for 27 years, I have always gotten the impression that I never got on his nerves, that he laughed at the same jokes over and over again, that he cared about every single thing that I care about, that he had an answer for everything I brought before him, and he never once turned me away, and he never once rejected me, and he never once made a comment about the way I look. Never once. Unless he said, you might want to fix that. Like friends do, like family should. You know what I'm saying? But I realize that all the stuff is coming from human beings. Well, if you're called by God and you're serving God and you know what you're supposed to do for God, and you're really aware, like I am aware, that it's an evolving process that's not always going to look the way it looks right now, so what's the big whoop? Not like anyone I know looks the way they did in the 80s. Because if they did, they could not be my friends. Not with that hair. I say no to mullets. I will reject you if you have a mullet. So, but seriously, at some point, a person has to mature enough in their walk with God to say, I know who I am, I know who I'm supposed to be, I know what I'm called to do, and I just can't continue to try myself in the court of public opinion. I just can't do it anymore. Because Jesus was found guilty in the court of public opinion. So he found a different public. And Jesus is constantly finding a new audience. There are people that will always reject him. There's people that will receive him. And it is his job to reach the people who will receive him. But it's like that in anything, in any business.